Hello everyone, Lisa Savaniak here from lifelikeyoumeanit.com, coming to you live to talk about beating imposter syndrome. And I'm just checking out my newly cut bangs, compliments of moi. Haha, first time cutting my own hair, and I don't think it looks too bad. I mean, my hairstylist is gonna have to fix things for sure when she's back up and running, hopefully in July. But I was ready for a change and decided I was going to take action. So thank goodness for YouTube showing the way for how to do this. Anyways, let's talk about beating imposter syndrome. So I've been giving you some NLP strategies over the last couple of weeks now about imposter syndrome, because imposter syndrome is one of these things that, almost everybody has some negative thoughts about themselves, right? They'll catch themselves when they are being pulled outside their comfort zone, and they'll say things like their immediate reaction being, I can't do it. Right? And it's that fear of the unknown, right? And we all experience that to some degree or another. But when we're talking about imposter syndrome, what we're really saying is that people with imposter syndrome, no matter what their achievements are, they are just not able to recognize their own achievements and to give themselves credit where credit is due. So, for example, they go out for the job interview. They are convinced they're not going to get the job interview because there's all these better people out there. They get the job, and then they spend time actually making excuses for why they got the job, right? They hired the wrong person by mistake, right? I fooled them. They have no idea that I'm the wrong person for the job. And any moment now they're going to discover this. Even when they then get promoted, it's the same sort of thing. Well, nobody else put themselves forward for the promotion, so that's the reason why I got it. They just can't allow themselves to see their own talents and their own success. So, and that can have a really devastating impact on their career, but also in their personal lives, because they're not just doing this at work, right? If you suffer with imposter syndrome, or you know somebody that does, this is something that is kind of taking over their whole lives. This could be in terms of their relationships, how they look at themselves as a parent, as a wife or husband, as a sister or brother even. I mean, it really is incredibly impactful in the negative. So let's do everything that we can to try to support people with imposter syndrome and use some NLP strategies to try to see if we can get them to start feeling a little bit better about themselves, start shifting their perspective on the way that they're seeing things, and start acknowledging their own strengths and their achievements. So what I would like to talk to you about today with imposter syndrome and NLP strategies is challenging your thoughts. And we talked about this last time as well. So this time I'm going to use the example of saying something to yourself like, I wish that I was better, or I want to be better at this, or I'm not as good at this as, right, somebody else, or they're better than me, something along those lines, right? The first thing that I want you to do is to ask yourself, better than what? I want to be better. Okay? Better than what? Right? Because if we leave it as I want to be better, we're never going to get there, because again, people with imposter syndrome don't recognize their own achievements. So if you're not clear on what better is, what it is you're striving for, you're never going to allow yourself to get there. So that's the first thing. Better than what? And if your question, or your statement rather, was more like, they're better than me, then we need to start narrowing it down. Who is better than you? Who exactly are we talking about here? How are they better than you? In what areas are they better than you? And getting really clear again on what the better looks like. And then we can start shifting it for yourself and ask yourself, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you right now on this, right? It doesn't matter if you're way down at 1 or you're on a -5, but getting clear on what better looks like and where you are now at this skill or this thing that you are wanting to improve here, right? Where are you now? And then the next one is really, really crucial, and that is, where do you want to be on this scale? Just because we assume, right, that a 10 out of 10 is perfect, that doesn't mean that for you to feel like you are better, that you are making steps towards increasing your skill set or whatever we're talking about here, that doesn't mean that you are aiming for a 10 out of 10. For example, if you're at a 1 out of 10, you might really benefit from just figuring out how you can get to a 2. Right? Because those are smaller steps. That's something that seems a little bit more tangible, seems like something that you could do. And then you start to ask yourself, okay, well, what does that 2 out of 10 look like then? And then you can start breaking that down. Okay, so what would I need to do then in order to reach that? Do I need to get some more guidance? Do I need to go and take a class? Do I need to find a webinar online, do some research, practice? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But you're more likely to be able to do that and to have the actual motivation to do that if you're looking at something, moving that scale up by 1 notch rather than going, well, I'm at a 1 now and I want to be at a 10. Okay, well, there's probably all those 9 steps in between are probably vast steps that you could be taking, not because you're not talented, but because your imposter syndrome is going to fight you here 100% of the way. We need to make those steps a little bit smaller. I hope that makes sense. And again, what we're doing is we're getting clear on the better part. Better than what? Better than who? Who are these people you're comparing yourself to? Are they real people in your lives, or are they, just what you assume somebody who can do this thing that you're trying to do, that they would do it better than you? Right? Getting really clear on who you're comparing yourself to, what the criteria is here, what on the scale of 1 to 10, where are you now, and where would you like to be? And keeping that really minute steps that you can take, which will allow you to actually start making some progress, and you're more likely to be able to recognize some of those small steps that you're taking. Whereas if you did take some massive steps, you're more likely to actually put those down and compare them to other people and not allow yourself to see them as the steps that they were. So take them as smaller steps. So, of course, in order for you to do any of this, the first thing that you really need to become is aware that you're even having these thoughts and you're using this type of language with yourself. So, as always, start listening to what it is that you say to yourself on repeat. Chances are when you catch it once, you'll end up finding that this is a regular mantra that plays in the background. And once you start to get clear on that and realize, oh yeah, I am striving to be better, then these are the steps that I want you to take to try to actually make it something that you can achieve and be able to recognize that achievement. I hope that helps. If NLP is something that is really interesting you are looking at this and saying, wow, okay, my mind is starting to open here with this, that I would love to jump on a free discovery call with you and see if NLP is indeed something that will work for you in the ways that you need it to. So just jump on over to lifelikeyoumeanit.com/calendar and just book your free discovery call in for whatever day and time works for you. And I really look forward to meeting you and seeing how I can help. Bless